Well, tomorrow marks the 5-year anniversary of London's Grenfell Tower disaster, where 72 people died in a fire that spread rapidly through an apartment building. The peak body for Australia's apartment sector has warned the dangers of flammable cladding persist across the country, particularly in Queensland. It warns a number of buildings are still ticking time bombs and work to remove the danger in getting lost in bureaucratic red tape. Our Sky News Queensland editor Peter Gleeson has more on this and joins me now live. Peter, Sky News has exposed major deficiencies in the current cladding legislation. What have we learned?
Well, good afternoon, Danica. Yes, well, it was 5 years ago, London, June 14, 2017, that 72 people died. A horrible death. And in that time, Australia has been very lucky not to have seen the same sort of tragedy in this country, with the threat of flammable cladding still a huge risk, according to the peak body, and particularly apartment and unit owners in Queensland. Now, since 2017, we know that similar flammable cladding fires have occurred in Asia. We know they've occurred in the United States, in the Middle East, and the peak body in this country, which represents the interests of about 2.5 million apartment and unit owners, Danica, the Australian Apartment Advocacy Group. Now, they're saying that cladding removal and replacement has proven to be a nightmare for apartment and unit owners. They're saying that government agencies responsible for the task are asleep at the wheel. Now, let's break it down state by state. In New South Wales, the State Auditor General has issued a scathing report last month, which it said the state government response to flammable cladding removal had been inconsistent and inefficient. In Victoria, cladding removal and remediation work on only 1/4 of an estimated 630 residential complexes has been completed. And in Queensland, the very controversial QBCC, the Queensland Building and Construction Commission, they estimate there are still hundreds of private residential buildings throughout the state that remain in breach of these combustible cladding regulations, and they can't be prosecuted because of a bureaucratic bungle which required fresh legislation to fix. So, Danica, look, it's indecisive action that's leading to residents suffering trauma. Obviously, there's mental health concerns, and when you see those images that we've just seen, those images out of London 5 years ago, it's a real issue, and it's one that we need to get sorted now.
Absolutely. It's no doubt that this is concerning. What can be done about this?
Well, obviously, we've got the government agencies who are working hard on this to try and ensure that happens. But we also know that there's a multi-million-dollar class action that's about to be launched by owners impacted by flammable cladding. Now, it really comes down to the will of governments to get this sorted. The Queensland government has been sitting on its hands for years. Will it take a tragedy like we've seen at Grenfell to wake them up? Let's hope not, Danica.
Yes, certainly let's hope not. Peter Gleeson with that update. Thank you.